place to be. Ain't no need to.
What's up? Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. I swear, like, this delay gets me sometimes. It's going. It's working. Alright, whatever. Alright, yeah, welcome. Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. As people are trickling in here, do me a favor, subscribe and like it. Everything like that. Get my notes pulled up here. We'll get going. Yo. Mick. What am I doing? Oh, my freaking son just woke up, it sounds like. Good night. He will not sleep. Ridiculous, man. Let's make sure my mic's hooked up. Sometimes my mic doesn't hook up to this audio equipment, and I don't understand. I don't understand why. All right. Let's make sure I got it shared in all the right places here, and I'll get going. I'm actually, let's see, where's this link at for it? This. Twitter's so weird. You can't put, like, it is not like YouTube links. Like, it just, like, absolutely, it just shuts it down. Like, I got people, like, you know, that have my, like, notifications on and stuff, and, like, as soon as I post, I mean, I got one guy in particular, it seems like they like my stuff, like, instantly, all the time. And when it has a link to, like, YouTube and stuff like that, it doesn't show up. You know, I don't get those likes or whatever, so I feel like it, you know, like, shadow bans the tweets or something like that. Weird stuff. All right, let's do this. What's up and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number one gambling podcast. Ooh, I don't even know what word I was trying to say there. Now live on YouTube. Today is Tuesday, 1:30. Man, that's a bad start. I thought it was Monday. Today's January 30th. Before we get into today's plays, take a look back and see what we did yesterday. We did not do very good. But I don't feel, I don't know what I don't feel like anything was overly wrong. I'll certainly admit when it's like, oh yeah, you know, like that was just a wrong bet or whatever. But our boy Wemby had 15 rebounds and assists. We needed 15 and a half. So, you know, we got caught on the hook there, but I guess it makes up for some of those couple that we had that we barely cashed on, you know. So it starts to fall the other direction sometimes, unfortunately. But I know for a fact that they took a couple rebounds from him, though. They definitely did. You know, I remember just kind of, I didn't watch the game, but I remember just kind of looking at the tracker, and it, you know, that number just kept getting dropped down, and people on Twitter I know were complaining about it too. McCollum only had 1 3. I think he hit it in the first quarter. He actually had like 10 points in the first like 8 minutes or something, and the guy just disappeared. Ended up taking a couple of shots. He took one late. You know, I even had him in like a builder. I needed just 2. You know, it missed us for that. Then Jokic ends at 25 on 27 and a half. You know, he missed like 10 shots. He took 6 threes. So I was definitely right about his 3-point game yesterday. You know, I gave that out for a boost. Had it like minus 125 or something like that. So that was a super easy hit. Hit that in the first quarter. But, you know, we move on. We were going on a pretty good little run there for a while. Constant positive days. Obviously, we had back-to-back negatives, but obviously that's not going to happen too often here. So we'll hop into the plays and hope for some greener pasture here. I will say, I mean, we're definitely getting to that point. I mean, you guys hear me complain about it all the time. Like NBA, I just feel like NBA is just kicking my butt. Like, I really want to just get through this month and just be done with January, and I might not even actually give out any official plays in the next 2 days. Just kind of like, reset. Sometimes you're looking at bets, it's just like fuzzy, and you're like, I think I like that, but I don't know. And like no plays have been like really like bangers or anything that you really like. And we're getting to the point where the last like 4 or 5 games, leading up to the All-Star break, normally isn't very good. And like the content that we're getting right now in the NBA just seems like it's garbage. So like it just seems terrifying to see what it's gonna look like when that runs around for us. Um, it's scary to think about. I might even start looking at some college basketball and stuff. But the first play I have here is probably my favorite play. I could see this one getting a little popular too. Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points. In fact, I think this opened up like much lower, like maybe even 21.5, and it's been bet up since then. But he's dominated the Pacers in his career with 28 points per game on average. He has had 3 straight games with 30 plus points, all coming from this year against them. So this is going to be the 4th time that they've played in this not calendar year, here, but the season year or whatever. In December he had 30 points. January 6th he had 31, and January 8th he had 40 points. He's over this line in 5 of his last 6 games against them, and when he goes over, he flies over. Against the Pacers, he's always had a really high volume of shots, and he actually gets fouled a lot and a lot of free throws. He, the type of guys driving the lane, a lot of dunks and layups type thing. I think a lot of his success has to do with the Pacers giving up nearly the most points in the paint. But since they added Siakam, they've kind of tightened that up a little bit. But they're certainly still at the towards the bottom of the league in the points in the paint. And then Jaylen will live in there if teams allow him to do so. The matchups should be really great too. We have a really high total on the board and a fairly close spread. And the Pacers are also getting Tyrese Halliburton back, which should hopefully spark some offense for the Pacers and make this be a much closer game than I guess what the books maybe are even thinking. Would love to see the Pacers even win. The Celtics have been playing just so bad at home, it seems like. I will say too that we're definitely getting a discount here because Jaylen Brown has been really bad. I know like they turned it up, yesterday. Like I talked about in the Discord, like Derek White, for example, like at one point he was 1 for 17 in his last 2 games. Then he started making some baskets, and Jaylen Brown started doing the same thing. But we're definitely getting a discount because Jaylen Brown has been he's been off. The Celtics have everybody but Tatum. Porzingis should be coming back. Horford's played in 2 games in a row now. Likely to see him, not even be available. So they may be need a little more size on the second team rotation that, Brown normally runs with. But just a really good history spot and a real good spot in terms of, I didn't write it down or even look at it, but I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I can find it here pretty quickly. I think he's listed as a small forward, if I'm not mistaken. The Pacers give up the 3rd most points to small forwards, 23.5 points. What's power? And they give up the most points. So it's either, I can't remember what he's listed at, but just forwards in general have definitely beat him up though. So that's a pretty good look. Like Jaylen Brown a lot, over 23.5 points. Next one, we're going to stick to the same game. We're going to go after Siakam, over 19.5 points. He's over this in 2 of 3 games against the Pacers. One of those misses, he had just 19 points. So he, would have lost on the hook essentially on that line. When he was with Toronto, he had 17 against them this year. He's over in 20 plus in 6 of his last 9 games against the Celtics. But just like Brown, when he goes over, he flies over this total. And like I said again, high total in the game. Pacers are hopefully getting Halliburton back. The one game that he played with Halliburton, he scored 21 points against them. So getting Halliburton back should hopefully keep the game more competitive, like I said. And then, at the same time, I think set up some good shots for Siakam. Halliburton's an excellent passer, so hopefully it sets up some good looks there where, you find Siakam wide open at the rim, and he's able to get a nice little layup or dunk or whatever, to put it down. So we'll go with Siakam over 19.5. Those will be the 2 plays for that game. And then before we get to the third here, got a handful of people watching. Please do me a favor and like the video if you haven't already. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have the subscriber only chat on. So I certainly appreciate the couple people that have been in there saying something every day. I've got some interaction, so that's been fantastic. The channel does continue to grow. 259. I think I must have got a couple subs just from talking here. I don't have that notification, but I'm pretty sure that's a bigger number. But anyhow, yeah, support me, help me out. I appreciate it. Lastly, it's going to be Bruce Brown over 5.5 rebounds. This play is a little different, but my son literally slept for like 25 minutes one of those days. RJ Barrett is out. Quickly is listed as doubtful. I don't think he's playing. Pirtle is questionable. Will be his first game back if he does play. If he does play, I could see him being on a minutes restriction and not play a whole lot. Bruce Brown has had 9+ rebounds in his last 2 games with 30+ minutes played, and he's over this in 3 of 5 games since joining Toronto. So we have a pretty good hit rate with his new team. The 2 misses that he only had 22 minutes. I don't know if they were blowouts. I don't know if he just, quite honestly, just didn't play. But with the team still banged up, with Barrett quickly potentially not playing, Pirtle potentially not playing, I would expect him to get plenty of minutes. If he gets that 30+, he's hit it essentially at 100% clip so far with the Toronto here. He had 7 versus the Bulls when he was with the Raptors here. I don't have to pull up in front of me. I don't know when that must have been like his first game. And then he had 7 when he was with the Pacers. So he's gone over against them. Regardless of what team he's on, he's been able to go over this number here. I don't have a whole lot of data, and this one's kind of goofy. It's not like he's like a rebound killer or anything like that. I do know, once again, I kind of sucked with my notes today, but I can very quickly find this. Oh, it's threes. That's what I was thinking. They give up the third most threes to shooting guards, which I'm pretty sure is what he's listed at. But sometimes he plays in like a forward type role. But his line for a 1-3 is at -150. So similar to Jokic, where he's actually had like a 3 in like 9 out of his last 10 games or something like that. So obviously we're not on points or anything like that, but that's a little bit of a tidbit there, or whatever, for you. So to recap then, for Lunchtime in the Lab on January 30th, we're going to ride with Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points. In the same game, Pascal Siakam over 19.5. And then we're going to go to the Raptors with Bruce Brown over 5.5 rebounds. I am your host, as always. Lunchtime in the Lab be brought to you every day. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me on all social medias at Live Joe Betts in the bottom in the description there on YouTube, or wherever you're listening. There's all kinds of links for you to check out with my social medias to make it easier for you to give me a follow. Certainly look forward to having a better day today than we did yesterday, but if you stick to units and you continue to be, manage that bankroll and everything like that, a couple bad beats and a couple losing days certainly don't hurt, and they continue to can stack on those winning days, and we'll get back to that 3-0, the 2-1 days, or whatever, So I'm going to close it out in the podcast here. I appreciate you guys listening to audio version. If you want to check out the visual version, you can find me on YouTube at Lunchtime in the Lab. And then, like I said, I'm going to close out here, see what's going on YouTube. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys back tomorrow. I always want to move my mic like I'm done. What's up, Shay? I think that is. All right, a lot of y'all bounced out, it looks like. I'm going to close this up, go help my wife out with the screaming baby. I will see you guys back tomorrow as well. Where's the button?